Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, starring Andy Serkis, Jason Clarke, Gary Oldman, Kerry Russell, Toby Kebbell, and Cody Smith McPhee, and directed by Matt Reeves. Now, like I told you guys before, I'm the fan of the Planet of the Apes, and I was excited about this movie going into the movie theater when this came out 3 years ago. So what did I think of it? Let's get into it, shall we? This movie starts off right where Rise of the Planet of the Apes ended, and that felt like a brilliant move to start this movie off at that point, because it's just one way to figure out that it's been 10 years, you know? Or maybe I'll get to that in a few minutes. Andy Serkis is again brilliant in this movie, and we get introduced to Koba, played by Toby Kebbell, who hates humans to death, but is a killer and only serves himself, and he's a fantastic bad guy in this movie by a long shot. Caesar's son, named Blue Eyes, is a good character to first go with. Koba, by the end of the movie, he was with his father, just so good. This feels a hell of a lot like a remake of Battle for the Planet of the Apes, because its concept. Apes ruling humans, hiding from the apes, an ape not kill ape, instead of ape shall not kill ape, and the bad guy ape kills an ape, but all done better than Battle for the Planet of the Apes at this point. Judy Greer, who I've seen her in comedy stuff like 13 Going on 30, and she was recently in that Carrie remake, and believe it or not, this is a fun fact. She, who plays Cornelia in the film, not Cornelius, but Caesar's wife Cornelia, is the biggest Planet of the Apes fan that she had a wedding themed of Planet of the Apes, and she's good here despite her not speaking at all. Jason Clarke plays Malcolm, who eventually will be John Connor in Terminator, a man who wants to turn on the power for electricity at a dam and is a good protagonist for the humans like Caesar is for the apes. Gary Oldman, didn't I just review you recently in Batman or Dark Knight? I just did that, right? Well, plays Dreyfus, who wants to save the human race by hiding from the apes, and if apes attack, he will fight if he must. The movie takes place 10 years, or should I say 10 winters, and that means years, by the way, if you don't know what a winter is, after Rise of the Planet of the Apes, is a good choice for this movie. Kerry Russell's character Ellie is a good mother figure of Malcolm's son. In this movie, Alex, played by Cody Smith McPhee, who will eventually be Nightcrawler in the newest X-Men movie, Apocalypse. For some reason I brought that up. Though his actual mother died from the disease caused by the apes, which, really sad, by the way. Poor boy. The movie is shot so beautifully, and the cinematography is fantastic. With a torn-up San Francisco and forest is just beautiful, by the way. I like Maurice in this movie. Seriously, I didn't mind him. He's a good sidekick to Caesar, and is a good character throughout the movie. I like the scene with the two humans that pretend to shoot a tank, or maybe it was a car, I couldn't really tell what it was. And Koba comes in and he acts like a circus monkey. Or, excuse me, ape. I'm so sorry. And I also like that he chills out, and the next thing you know, he's back being evil and kills off the two people with the guns. Shooting range. When Caesar says, "No guns," and the one guy who shoots Ash earlier in the film, aka Rocket's son, and Caesar grabs the gun, and I thought Caesar was going to shoot the humans because the idiot with the that brought the damn thing, the damn gun, is in the first place. But Caesar really looks badass with that gun when he briefly holds it. Am I the only one who thought when Caesar attacks Koba, he sounded a little like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Even though it's the same actor, it sounds like it. Koba shoots Caesar and pretends that he is dead by Koba ruling and taking command, and Koba killing off almost every human out there in the movie, and almost forces Ash to kill a human and doesn't want to. And the next thing you know, Koba throws Ash off a ledge. Is sad because he doesn't follow Apes, he follows himself. That means Caesar didn't start the war for next week's movie. Koba did. While all of the apes attack Caesar, Malcolm, and the rest of the humans hide at the James Franco's character's house, where Caesar grew up and is as smart as Caesar is for him to hide. It's a good scene. Caesar versus Koba is a good battle, but a little too intense for younger viewers under the age of 13. That's why it's PG-13, not PG or G or whatever you want to predict it is. The line "ape, not kill ape" by Koba, and Caesar says, "You are not ape," and drops Koba was a little obvious to stop a villain, but keep in mind he's in next week's movie from what I briefly saw him. But when this came out, it was assumed that Koba was dead, and now it's a tease until you see next week's movie. So that's just a problem. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 9.3 out of 10. This movie is a fantastic version of Battle for the Planet of the Apes, and is a much better film than Battle. And I'm excited for next week's movie. I mean, seriously, I think it's going to be a good one because it's got good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see how it goes. I'll be back next week to review War for the Planet of the Apes, and until next time, I would like to kiss you goodbye, but you're just so damn ugly, to quote Charlton Heston from the first film.